I am Chad Johnson, one of the co-wine growers, winemakers, and owners of Dusted Valley Vintners in Boomtown. Yeah, Scotty, wear it with pride, baby. And the scone,
right,
for Scotty Block,
right. So
and notice the shoes too. Cheddar pieces of Packer,
nice,
Packer right there.
Those are beautiful.
Cheddar loaves. Yeah, 06 vintage with Scotty Block was our inaugural farming experience. We said we weren't going to farming, but just get sucked back into it with the agricultural roots. Couldn't help it. Control freaks, I guess, was a good part of it. Yeah. And since then, we started a farming company, and we've leased Minnick Hills, which is north of the airport here in Walla Walla, on Middle Waitsbrook Road, 30-plus acre vineyard, mostly Bordeaux, a little Syrah. It's great. It's kind of a late ripening site for the valley, a little cooler. And then we've just planted in the rocks. Stony Vine Vineyard will get our first fruit this year. Planted about 17 acres. A lot of Syrah, Mediterranean varietals, Mourvèdre, Grenache, Tempranillo. I love Portuguese wines, those still red wines. We did a little Touriga Nacional with Tempranillo, might be blending. I don't know what we're going to do with that, but experimenting.
Okay, go ahead and continue your thought.
And then we've been getting fruit from Birch Creek for, this will be our 6th, 7th vintage now. I think the third vintage, because of the big freeze here. We skipped the vintage in Walla Walla. Hopefully that doesn't happen again anytime soon, now that we're farming 100 acres and double jeopardy comes into play. But we've been farming that the last couple of years. And it's another beautiful part of our blending of our different estate vineyards, because they all have different qualities. And the Scotty Block in particular is our biggest, darkest, most structured wines. And a warmer site like Birch Creek is a little more red fruit, a little more floral, a little more grace and elegance there. And Minnick Hills has got a little bit of both, and just learning how to grow and play with that. We've been working with it for 3 years.
Now, what percentage of your program would be considered estate now?
I think we were running about 50-50. Last year we ended up having to bring a lot more of our fruit in because we had some buyers back out with you've heard of the economy and the crash and all that, right? Yeah. So when you're selling fruit, you end up having to take it home if no one buys it. So we ended up probably a little bit skewed last year, but our insurance policy is working with a couple great vineyards outside the valley. Two in particular, Stone Tree Vineyard. Ted Wildman up on Waluki Slope, great guy, makes killer grapes. And then Lonesome Spring Ranch, Colin Morrell, fellow cheesehead and head grower for Hogue Constellation here in the state. And then we've worked with Kestrel for some whites, like to get our whites from up in the cooler parts of Prosser, Yakima Valley. Okay. Maintain that nice, bright, natural acidity.
Right. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the devotion to Screw Cap.
Yeah. I probably took 3 years to convince Corey to do it, or 2 years nagging at him. I'm a food scientist, come from a quality control background. I came up through the bakery industry and the pork industry, and now in the wine industry I bring that mind to it. And I truly believe it's probably one of the better closures out there for sure. I'm not a fan of cork because I've dumped way too many thousands of dollars worth of cork wine down the drain. I have an aversion to it, and we notice at particularly very low levels of taint. And even if you're not smelling moldy, mildewy basement floor crap, that can be a marker of trichloroanisole in cork taint. It masks the fruit, so a lot of times people might try a wine and it's only half the wine because it's not musty, but the fruit's covered up. Right. And it's Mother Nature. They're not all the same. Talk to anybody that actually seriously ages wine, and they'll talk about bottle variation, and that bottle variation is primarily from the cork. They have better bottles, they have worse bottles, but if someone's spending a couple $100 on a bottle and aging it for 10, 20 years, it's kind of a crapshoot. And then talking to the Burgundy producers, and it's a whole different ballgame, the small lot stuff, same deal. Right. So one way to go about it is put screw caps. They definitely have to be put on right. It's a mechanical closure. But if they're put on right, I believe it's a great solution to some of the cork taint problems. And quite frankly, I think the cork industry has been extremely... they haven't acted very responsibly, we'll say that, over the last 20, 30 years. And now that they're losing market share, they're finally getting their act together, which is very unfortunate for them, but there's lots of traditions in the world, and I'm a vector for change. I like change, and I think here's a question to ask her. So 2 questions. for people that have questions about screw cap. What do you do for a day job? What do you do, Eric?
Newspaper man.
Newspaper man. Let's say 5% of your quotes or your articles were wrong, you wouldn't have your job very long, would you?
No.
And I think you can take that to anybody, right? I mean, seriously, get real. And then the other one is, imagine a world where everybody used screw cap wines. I think that'd be pretty cool. And somebody decided to introduce cork. And you think anybody would buy a cork that's going to be possibly tainted, premature oxidation, or perhaps you need a tool to get open a vessel. So just a couple of questions. And I buy a lot of wine with cork in it, and I'm not totally anti-cork. But I have been known to call it the demon cork once or twice.
Right.
In jest.
Now, talking about kind of your barrel program, and I think the vineyard sourcing and the closure for the 2006 Reserve Cab, which did so well with us last year. Is that kind of the perfect triangulation of everything you guys have done?
No, it's perfect. It's the first time we grew anything. I hope we didn't hit perfection right off the bat. It'd be tough to attain that every year. But one thing I do know, it's getting better. Our vines are getting older. We're learning how to deal with Mother Nature and what it throws at us every year, which has been a tough couple falls this last couple years with the October 11th freezes. It's been interesting. But we really do appreciate and really love what Wisconsin oak is bringing to the table. And every year we're beginning to taste it with a little bit of age on it and seeing what it becomes. So we're not really sure what it's going to be, 5-10 years in the bottle under cork from our vineyards, but I think it's going to be damn good.
Okay.
Excuse me.
The
fruit fly.
Just come on out and see us either in Woodinville or in Walla Walla. We're open in Woodinville 7 days a week from noon until 5 p.m. Located 2 doors down from the Purple Cafe and Wine Bar, right there in the heart of Woodinville wine country, in the Hollywood district, and also in Walla Walla, we're open every Saturday and Sunday from noon until 5, and then starting probably right around April 15th, we'll be open Thursday and Friday from noon until 5 as well. But always a good way to make sure to give us a call in advance in Walla Walla. And I'm sure that Eric will be putting the information right down here about how to get a hold of us. So, yeah. Link it up.
Now, I did want to ask, a lot of people are kind of, go ahead and get back in there,
Okay.
are making the migration to Woodinville.
Yeah.
What prompted you guys to do that?
It's where the people are, plain and simple. It's, is it marketing or sales 101? Well, we probably have 60 to 75% of the people that come through our door are from the Puget Sound area. And it just made a lot of sense to go up there and interact with our family, our Stain 2 Society members, our best customers, and tap into what's happening out there.